Appreciate my friend from Louisiana pointing out the grandstanding. That's kind of what I felt about the sit-in that occurred on the House floor, and my friends across the aisle refusing to recognize that radical Islam is at war with us. And instead they talked about guns. I'm looking forward to the grandstanding about pressure cookers and the need to make them illegal. But this hearing is about whether or not Mr. Koskinen, you committed such acts as should cause you to be removed from office. And it's already been mentioned that you had testified, that you were made aware of problems associated with Ms. Lerner's emails the same month that Ms. Duvall discovered the gap, and that you had withheld that information, didn't disclose it for 4 months until June 13th of 2014. And that during that time you testified before Congress 4 times. So I want to ask you, during those 4 times you testified, after you learned about the problems with Ms. Lerner's emails, did it cross your mind at all that perhaps you should disclose that there were problems with Ms. Lerner's emails?
If I could correct the record, I have testified, and honestly, I learned about the Lois Lerner email crash in April. Between April and the time we provided the report to the Congress, I did not have a hearing. The hearings in June were about the Lois Lerner hard drive crash. But I've also stated, and the reason I did not immediately report that crash was because I instructed people to see how many emails from the crash period we could recover, and we recovered 24,000. But as I've said in retrospect, because it did create a certain amount of aggravation on the part that I understand of at least some congressmen, in April, when I was advised, if I had to do it again, I would advise the Congress that we had a hard drive crash and we
So
were
is
now
it your opinion that once you've testified before Congress, if you learn information that makes your prior statements not completely true, that you have no obligation to come forward, send a letter, send an email, send a message that you have now learned things? Or in your opinion, should you just wait until you're asked, and if you're not ever asked, you have no need to disclose? Which is your opinion?
I didn't wait until I was asked. We actually produced a full report to all of the investigators' committees about the process. But as I've said, when I learned of it in April, life would have been a lot easier if I had simply advised the Congress.
Well,
and since that time, we've advised the Congress.
When you found out there were problems, did you know Lois Lerner used a BlackBerry, that she had a handheld device?
I did not, but that BlackBerry was in the hand of the IG from 2013.
Did it cross your mind that she may have had a portable device that was used to send and receive email?
No, I was not analyzing Lois Lerner's activities. I was working and instructing people.
You knew there were requests for Lois Lerner's emails, and it never crossed your mind she might have them on a personal device that she carried? That never crossed your mind? Did it cross your mind that there was this facility in Martinsburg, West Virginia, where storage was kept? Did that cross your mind?
No, I was focused, as the agency was, on reviewing all the emails we could. To get emails, we had to pull each hard drive out of the computer.
Mr. Koskinen, when you are asked under oath about the existence of emails, there really is an obligation to learn about the emails and where they are and where they exist. Let me just read for you. I hope you're familiar with Internal Revenue Manual. You are, hopefully.
Yes.
Thank you. Well, this was added January 23rd, 2014, 25.1.1.2. Fraud is deception by misrepresentation of material facts or silence when good faith requires expression. And I would submit to you, Mr. Koskinen, you have had ample opportunities over the last 2 years to disclose things or maybe to make inquiry, but it certainly appears you have what might be called willful ignorance, so you don't have to come up here and testify about what actually happened. It's hard to believe that you never made any inquiry about potential places that Ms. Lerner's controversial emails that may have been lost, may have not have been lost, where they might be found. It shocks my conscience that the head of the IRS would not think to ask any questions other than, can anybody find her emails? You require so much more from taxpayers, and then we give you $290 million more dollars, and what happens? You start closing local tax assistance offices for taxpayers, like in Longview, Texas. And the excuse is, well, we got our budget cut. Yeah, this year you got $290 million more. 2 months later, you're closing offices to hurt taxpayers. It looks like there is a problem with the management at the IRS. And I see my time's expired, so I have to yield back.